What's going on, gang? It's your boy Robbie. We back with another react. This is going to be coming from Hello Yasin, Swae Lee's comeback single Flop. Now, true story, this was in 2013. I had just moved here and I was working for a temp agency across the street from Cumberland Mall. Some of y'all might be familiar, but when you're coming out of Cumberland Mall from the food court side, there's these sliding doors or whatever. So I'm coming out the mall and Ray Shrimmer was out there chilling. There was a few of them. Now, this was before No Flex Zone came out and blew up. Slim Jimmy had walked up on me. He was like, "Hey, yo, you want to win a PlayStation 4? Because the PlayStation 4 came out that year." And I was like, "Yo, what's the catch?" And he was like, "Oh, no, I was just, it's nothing or whatever." So after that, I just walked off. And I kid you not too long after that, them niggas blew up. You know what I'm saying? No Flex Zone that came out. And it was up from there. So this should be interesting. I know they haven't put out music in quite a while. I know they went their separate ways, but this should be interesting to see why the song flopped. So we ain't gonna waste no time. Make sure you like, sub to the channel, leave the comments down below. Let's get to the video, y'all.
What's poppin', y'all? After 6 years, yes, that is correct, 6 years, Swae Lee came back with the solo track, and it fell flat. And he's about to come back with another one, and I think this one is going to disappoint as well, when it comes to commercially, at least speaking, because the song that he recently released, his comeback song, was Flammable. This dropped February 27th, so this was about a month ago, and it's accumulated. Guess how much? Guess how much? Quick guess. 1.3 million streams. Now, for Swae Lee, Swae Lee is a generational artist. And there are very few of those. Like, for example, maybe Travis Scott has Sicko Mode. You could possibly say that's a generational song. Maybe a couple. But Swae Lee has just as much as Travis. Now, is Swae Lee as big as a Travis? No. And the reason why I say Swae Lee is multi-generational in the same way that Post Malone is he has songs that have touched every corner of the globe. And we know will touch, God willing, our children and their children, and that have touched our parents, like Sunflower, Unforgettable. These types of songs, they've hit everything, even like Arms Around You. Like, Swae Lee's music is just everywhere, and he's a very, very talented artist. Now, I mean, I love this guy's come up. I was there from the first project, well, even before the first project, when the first songs first started coming out.
Like I said, I seen them, like I said, before they blew up. You know what I'm saying? They was chilling because they from Atlanta or whatever, so it makes sense. You know, they was just hanging out with their friends, like on some teenage shit.
I wasn't out there in Tupelo, Mississippi or whatever they had going on. That's for sure. I didn't know about them until they got on Eardrum Records with Mike Will. But I have seen him try to like come out and release his own project, and that just hasn't really panned out. Like, they were supposed to release a project as like Ray Shremmer, the fourth one, Shrem for Life, which ended up dropping in 2023. There was good music on that, but that was a duo project. Now, when we're talking about solo Swae Lee, it hasn't happened since 2020. So the last song, so 1.3 million streams over a month. And he's set to drop an album in April, but it just didn't hit. They had a music video for the song, and the song Flammable is a great song. I really like this song. If you have not, and I think the biggest problem with this is a lot of you guys that are probably watching right now, you're like, "Yo, Swae Lee released a song?" Yes, that's the problem. That's the biggest problem. And I think it's just because they're still trying to follow this, I guess, like method of release that has been the norm for so long, which is, okay, Swae Lee's a big artist. He has had hit songs. We're going to come back. There's going to be a song. There's going to be a music video, and it's going to hit, right? And I just think that method doesn't really work anymore unless you...
Yeah, I was going to say, it's just so much moving in the music space right now. Everybody's podcasting, you know, NBA YoungBoy. I don't think he's still on tour, but it's just so much moving in the music industry. It's like you could really get lost in this pool now, you know what I mean?
Been active. If you're active, yes, people are waiting to see what you've got going on. Or if you're one of the biggest artists with the strongest fan bases. The thing with Swae Lee is that he has some of the biggest songs, but when it comes to die-hard fan base that are following Swae Lee, it's not as much as even a Don Toliver, I would say, who's got a stronger base. So you've got to come out with the smash, which didn't happen in this case, but you need people to know that it's a smash. And he's going to come out, he's got a song that's coming out out with Rich the Kid, which I didn't even know about. I was just scrolling through Swae Lee's TikTok. The reason why I got an inspiration for this is because I was just randomly online and I saw that Swae Lee was doing a stream with Neon. I was like, Swae Lee, huh? Okay. I listened to Flammable when it dropped though. But then I checked out Swae Lee's TikTok because Swae Lee's very active on TikTok and has been for 5+ years. Swae Lee is wherever the are at. So if the young chicks are on TikTok, Swae Lee's on there. And I don't mean that in any weird type of way, but yeah, Swae Lee's wherever the chicks are at. So with Swae Lee, I'm thinking about it like, yo, this guy's so active on TikTok. What's going on? Because if you guys remember 6 years ago, that was the last single that Swae Lee tried to release. And I think he had the right idea at this time, but this was during C19 era. Yeah, let's call it that. He released a song by the name of Dance Like No One's Watching. Decent song. It's almost got like 10 million streams, but he was doing damn near an album rollout for this, and it never ended up dropping. So what happened at that time was Swae Lee was, I don't know if this was, I still don't know whether or not.
The thing with me is, unless I hear a song that's going to go viral on somebody's reel or something like that, I'm really not checking for a lot of this music. Most of the music that I'm listening to, as I mentioned in, my other videos, it's a lot of underground shit. You know what I mean? Not so much mainstream dudes, Not saying that I wouldn't give it a listen, but, I'm Bodie James, Larry June, Currency type. That's what I be on, Benny and all that.
This was promo for an album that never ended up coming out. But he announced that his hard drive with over 2,000 songs was stolen. And he put out this audio on Twitter back then. It was Twitter back then.
Situation shouldn't even be looked at like a money-making opportunity. Like, it was more like do the right thing. Like, 80% of them songs on that hard drive are locked anyway. Like, you can't even get on them. Like, so just, if you got it, just contact me through Instagram, send a picture of the hard drive. Because I see a lot of bullshit, my team going through it. We see a lot of bullshit. People posting pictures and videos and talking about they got the hard drive. Don't even know what the look like. Like, first of all, I'm not going to tell you what it look like. I need to see it. You show me what the hard drive you found looks like. And then we'll go from there. But I need this hard drive. I just been putting everything I have into this album on this hard drive. Like, each of these songs were all my time. I stayed up 16 hours in the studio, 18 hours.
So he was offering a $20,000 prize. Eventually, he said, I got my whole life on that ish. And then the person that allegedly stole it from him, the thief, from LAX, the airport, he would get on live with Swae Lee. And this is all in 2020.
I need more than 20K. I know it's corona, I know it's a pandemic. I need more than 20K. And then I'll give you it back. If not, I'll leave some of your songs.
Show your face first, bro. You sound like a cat, bro.
Listen, I ain't come to play.
This is so crazy, bro.
I got your hard drive.
Where y'all be coming from, bro? That's what I'm trying. Y'all niggas weird as hell.
Bro, this is no cap. I got your hard drive.
Halloween over, bro.
You think this is done? Hold on real quick. I'll show you something. It was in a Louis bag, right? Shit ain't funny no more. Hold on.
So apparently Swae Lee was able to get this. We were all following this when it was happening. But 6 years later, nothing happened. So what the hell can a Swae Lee even do right now? And I think Zayn Malik, he suffered from the same thing that Swae Lee just did, which is they put so much effort into the release of a new single, and it just isn't talked about much after a week or two. And if it doesn't chart right away, and if they're not like working it with radio, then who knows what's going to happen. Now, granted, the song for Zayn Malik is Die For Me. That's got like almost 14 million streams. Great song, by the way, but it's not on the charts. And they did like kind of a press run for it as well. He did a couple of interviews.
The way things are set up now, you got to be hitting about 1 billion streams for it to get any type of recognition, get any notice by Billboard or anything like that. Because 13 million is a lot, but then it's not a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Interviews They had a good music video for it, and it's in the lead up to his next album, which is done. It just hasn't released yet, and that's another artist that I really enjoy, and I'm anticipating his work. But for Swae Lee, someone that's got a personality, someone that had an instance like this, I'm looking at it like you kind of got to know the song is a hit before you put the money into it nowadays. For example, Lil Uzi Vert, the song that he dropped that got the music video, I think the music video was already recorded. What You Saying is the song that's his hit right now. The music video came out a while after people were already messing with the song. And I think for a Swae Lee, somebody that's recorded so much music that hasn't released for 6 years, I don't understand why he can't just have like a series. Why doesn't Swae Lee have a series on TikTok where he's just playing random snippets like daily, like just playing some random snippet off of his massive hard drive of music that he's already got or considering releasing? Because when they get down to an album, they've got at least 100 songs, sometimes several hundred, which I'm so impressed by how talented artists that put a great album out are able to cut so many tracks. Because when you've got like 100 tracks that you think are great, to cut it down even further is... It must be so hard to do something like that and to choose which songs make it and don't. But why doesn't he just play a little bit of those? Play a little bit. That's so much content around Swae Lee making music, making new music. Everybody knows he's making new music now. And then whichever one bangs the most, drop the song. That way you get to test out the product before putting it out, as opposed to what it feels like and what it looks like is that they're just checking it out and they're like, okay, well, and including Swae Lee, yeah, I think this one's the hit. And the truth is, sometimes people are like, yo, this is the hit, and it ends up being the hit. But a lot of the time, people don't know. And you kind of either got to put a ton of money behind it and keep pushing it, or it's just going to fall flat. And you're like, okay, well, we just put all that money up front and it didn't do well. Are we going to keep funneling money into it? I don't think so. And Swae Lee is an artist that they don't need to keep doing well. Like his whole catalog is already like, listen, we've got more than there's more risk in paying money right now than whatever you've had, than just letting your catalog cook, because it's reached a maturation point to where this thing's going to print money forever. And that's also, like, I think why Swae Lee took a 6-year break, not a break, because he appeared on a lot of songs as features. And I don't think he's had a hit since then, but he doesn't have to. But clearly he's putting out this music because he wants to put out music and he loves making music. But I don't want him to put out an album that's going to fall flat. And for him to have an album that doesn't fall flat, he needs a hit. He's kind of like Tyga in that if he has it, he's like Tyga in that they can make hits. However, I think people are more inclined to listen to a full Swae Lee project than a full Tyga project. The only 2 Tyga projects I've ever listened to there was Fan of a Fan, which is a Chris Brown collaboration, so that doesn't really count. You could call that 0.5. There was F What They Talking About, the mixtape. Fire. Great mixtape. There was it Gold Chains? Did I even listen to that one? I don't think I listened to that one. That was the one that was the infamous flop where like all the Kardashians posted it and it sold like 1,500 or 500. I don't know. It was something crazy. And the Gold album, that's what it was. The Gold album. I did not listen to that one. I listened to Kyoto when that came out, and that's it, I think. Yeah, I didn't listen to Legendary, Be I'm the Ish. I think I listened to that one. Actually, I've listened to more Tyga projects than I thought. The albums I haven't listened to. But when it comes down to the mixtapes, yeah, I did check those out. But anyway, for Swae Lee, the last thing I want is for him to drop an album. Nobody pays attention to it. And then now all of the attention is on how it performs, because people are going to track Swae Lee's sales like a hawk. And then they're going to see that it didn't perform well. And then they're going to be disincentivized to check it out when I know it's going to have good music because he just released a great song. So I think Swae Lee needs to experiment a little bit more. I do think this method of release for an individual like Swae Lee, it's not really all the way there. Like, for example, Don Toliver, I don't know how this was put out. I don't know if it just happened organically by fans, but I think, didn't Tiramisu was already out and booming before the album dropped, Octane. And Tiramisu is currently the most streamed song, but I don't think it's the highest charting song right now. But that song was doing well before the album dropped. So when the album dropped, everyone was already listening to Don Toliver. And then they're like, okay, well, we're going to listen to something else now as well. Because after Tiramisu released late last year. Then he had, I think, a song on Chase B. Was it Chase B's mixtape? It might have been. He had a song with Chase B and Sofego, and then he also had a song on Creepin', but that was for like the Scream soundtrack, so we won't really count that. So yeah, he had Tiramisu booming already, and
I've never listened to his music.
I don't know why Swae Lee doesn't experiment a little bit, because it's been a long time since he last dropped, and it's been a long time since we've seen something like this work. Like, an Uzi Vert isn't doing something like this, and who else is at the top of the game? Hell, Travis Scott should be one of the greatest examples of not being able to predict the hit, because the song 4x4, which they had a music video prepared for that as well, they dropped that song. They did everything that Travis Scott always does to try to get a song to bang as much as possible. I enjoyed the song, but it just didn't stick. People just didn't want it. And Travis Scott can afford to, expend something like that and be like, okay, well, I guess we're just going to take the itty bitty L on that one. But when you're Swae Lee coming back off of 6 years, you need to get everyone into the mode that Swae Lee is actively releasing again. You got to warm it up. Like, you got to blow the dust off of the hard drive. You can't just get the fans spinning again. Like, you got to clean it out. You got to get the compressed air. Do something about it. But yeah, I really want to see Swae Lee win. If you've listened to the song, the Flammable song, let me know. Do you mess with it or not? Out. And if you didn't, did you even know that Swae Lee was actively releasing again? Because I think that'll prove my point as well. Because, if you're here, that means you follow rap and hip-hop a lot more than the average listener. So if you haven't heard about it, then that really...
It's going to be the end of the video. I'm going to definitely check that out. I think more so is the question should be, does anybody want to hear a full body of work from Swae Lee? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm against it or anything like that. I'm pretty sure it's going to be some bangers on there, but like a consistent album where you can just play it all the way through and no skipping, that's going to be the real question, if the fans want to hear that. I'm sure diehard fans will definitely give it a listen and probably listen to it all the way through, and then they'll be the judge on whether or not the whole thing is a banger for real. You know what I mean? But I got to check out this song, see what it sounds like, see if I'm rocking with it. Like I said, I don't really pay too much attention to the mainstreamers in terms of music, but this isn't to say I won't listen to them though, you know what I mean? But I'm going to check that out. I'll be sure to link this video in case you want to go check out Hello Yasin's channel. Go support him. If you made it this far into my video, I appreciate you for watching. Be sure to chin check that like button. You feel me? Take the subway to my channel. And be sure to sound off in the comments until they kick your asses out. Security, that is. But it's your boy Robbie, and until the next one, I'm out.